Alright, YouTubers, here we go. Tonight we want to talk about a few specifics in budgeting. We chatted with some folks this last week and they had some questions, and I thought maybe we'd cover some of that in this video. And I had told you before that I was going to give some specific numbers and things to help you work through things. In one of our videos recently, we did.
You show that?
Yeah. When you let your child get a hold of your budget, it tends to get a little. This is not from us just getting angry and.
No.
At the budget.
No.
That's actually from our 2-year-old.
Getting angry at our budget.
So, the way I structure my budget, and here's more of a clean sheet.
Yeah.
You can see there's columns. Nerds, you'll love this part. There's columns and rows.
Yes.
And everything has a place, right? So, the way we structure our budget is by pay periods.
Yeah.
We get paid on the 1st and the 15th.
He gets paid.
Yes, I get paid on the 1st and the 15th of every month, Lord willing. Yes, I do. So that's usually what we used to say when I was self-employed. Yeah. Lord willing.
Lord willing, I'll get my money on whatever. So
right.
It's still Lord willing, you know.
It's always Lord willing, absolutely. And thank God He has been willing for some time now.
Yes.
So basically the way we do it is we break it down for a pay period. The first thing that comes out of our budget, which we had a video talking to you about giving, whether it's faith-based or whether it's just nonprofit giving, becoming a giver so that you can become mentally a manager of money instead of a consumer of money, which is why giving is important. It's just a real good principle to have. So our giving is at the very first thing right off the top. When we get paid, it comes out immediately. Nothing else goes in front of that. Giving is first.
I was just going to say, for us, we do it automatically. Like, it's automatically drafted out because our church allows that to happen. I will say that Dave Ramsey actually says it's good to physically write out the check, or even better, put the physical money in the plate, because it's like a heart issue. So if you are just brand new to this, I would suggest you taking Dave Ramsey's advice. If it is like old hat to you and you've got it solid in your heart and you just want it easy, then feel free to do the automatic. But anyway. My
heart's good. We do it automatic.
All hearts are clear.
All hearts are clear. I see that hand.
Anyway, so I just thought I'd...
Yes, because and I'm real techie too. So I'm a web designer. I work for a web company. I'm all about technology, and so anything to make my life easier, that's good for me. Fine. But I do think it's important in the beginning, especially if you're just putting a budget together, to really see the cash, to see those types of things to come right out of your money, so that you really feel it.
Right.
Because if you don't feel it,
He says you have those Benjamins and whatever become a part of the family. You don't really want to give them away.
And then when you
then it's when on the giving it's free.
You learn sacrifice.
But when you're paying for TV or something, it's like, oh, do I really want this? So anyway.
So the first part of the month, our giving comes out first. Then our rent, and our car is automatically taken out because we haven't been able to sell it yet. It's going to be easy to sell, but we're trying to get the cash. I'm sorry. It's her van. My truck is paid for completely. Her van is not paid for. So this is the struggle I think a lot of people talk about and ask questions about, because Dave says, sell your car and pay cash for another one. Well, a lot of us don't have enough equity in our car to sell it and have enough cash to buy another car.
Right.
Most of us, have been living that paycheck to paycheck for so long, we don't have that extra cash. So we're trying to build up the money to buy
a replacement
for what we're going to sell, because we sold it, we wouldn't have any money to buy a vehicle.
We wouldn't even have a way to get to some place to be able to buy a new vehicle if we sold our van first.
Just put the kids in the back of the truck.
A family of 6 in a single bench truck.
Exactly. So
anyway.
So that's why we still have a car payment in our budget. So don't feel guilty. I mean, it's just sometimes we gotta. It's baby steps, right? Yeah. That's what they all are. Baby steps. So
we'll get there.
We'll get it sold, and we'll get a cash van.
Yeah.
To replace it.
No vehicle payment.
That's what we're working on. We're only just over 90 days into this anyway, so we're working on it. But I am very proud. We got our baby step 1 done, and we've paid off a couple of things in baby step 2 already. So the next thing out is for us is food and commodities. And we're wanting to try to even split that up even more and get real specific with the grocery bill and the toilet paper, things like that. So, but we take that out next. And for a family of 6, and I've been asking around, what do people spend in groceries every week or every 2 weeks? I've got a friend at work who has teenagers. Ours aren't teenagers yet, and he scared the wee water out of me. They spend like $300 a week, and they just take a shovel and they feed their teenage boys with a shovel, and it never stops.
Baby boy.
So I was scared to death because our food budget is half of theirs. We spend $300 every 2 weeks on food.
On food, and then
$60 on commodities.
Enough. Especially now I've got 2 in diapers.
Yeah. So, and I know there's other people that they really try to bring that food budget down, and they're eating the beans and rice and beans kind of thing. We throw a little chicken in it. So
we throw a lot of chicken in it. We
do, don't we? But we don't buy. I can't believe how much hamburger is. Oh my goodness!
That's a treat for us.
Yeah, we went. I bought hamburgers for like Labor Day to grill out, and it was like $5.50 a pound.
Yeah, at Walmart.
I was like, no wonder we eat chicken. So,
if you have ways that you can get away with that, especially if you're a family that has 6, please share. Let us
This is one area we need help with.
It really is. I feel like it is because I feel like that's a lot of money. But then I go to the store and I'm like, it's not. I'm not buying frills. I don't know what else to do. So
yeah.
Anyway,
and we'll divide that up even more so that we can have a really good idea what is just food, and only food. I said earlier that we tried to get out a dish, like a lot of people try to get out of things, and they offered us a stay package. The absolute dirt cheap package, which was just a little bit more than what it was going to cost us to cancel, because we're in a contract. So, but we get out of that, we'll get a digital antenna, and we can get TV for free. Then we actually, and I know I've heard Dave say different things about spending money, spending money so that you don't go crazy, so you've got some things. But I also heard him say the more spending money you feel you need, then you're not budgeting properly. So you need to, if you've got things that are normal, routine things, put them in the budget so that you know that that's a budget item and it gets paid for. But we take a little bit of cash, a little bit for me, a little bit more for her since she's got the kids with her, to have spending money. I take $40 a month spending money, and she takes $60 a month, so that she can, stop by, get some slushies for the kids or whatever. Not that you need slushies and all that sugar and stuff.
Every once in a while, it's, a friend will be like, hey, let's go grab some coffee, or you want to grab lunch, and it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's nice that I don't have to call Chuck at work and say, do we have the money in the budget for that? Because that's what I used to do, and it would drive him crazy. And
it was cool, just the other day, somebody was talking about not having enough gas to get to a meeting and stuff, and Skye, as wonderful as she is, took a little bit from her spending money and shared that with that person. So that's nice to have that.
Nice to have it on hand.
On hand.
Not just a debit card all the time, so that you can bless other people.
Absolutely. Like we talked about earlier, restaurants, we budget $15 every pay period for me on Wednesday nights when I go to the comedy club, so I can eat between the office and the club and then head to the house. So, and then that ends our first pay period. We're done. This month, what we did was we threw in one extra thing, which was a Friday night. I took the two oldest kids out on a father, two older child date.
An older kid date.
An older kid date, and left the two babies
with my sister.
With her sister.
Shout out to Dusty.
We put that in the budget, and we added that money to the budget because we knew
before we made the budget, right?
No, we actually added that after we had already made the budget because
emergency budget meeting.
It was an emergency budget meeting. Okay. We had to sit down and have another budget meeting, and we reworked the budget and fit that in there. So then we start our second pay period, second half of the month, and we do the same thing over again. Our giving comes right off the top. Some people do it once a month, and they just put it all out there, because it's easier for them to budget it that way. That's fine. For us, we take half of it on the 1st and half of it on the 15th. And then above what we call a tithe, a lot of you understand what tithe is that 10% that we give. We wanted to teach our kids about giving above that tithe, and we give to something at our church called Spaces and Places. We added $10 a month to that. And the kids actually in there, because we split their monies up, because we have kid commissions that we split up for them, and they give. One of them gives to Spaces and Places, and another one gives to Digital Missions, which any of you that use the YouVersion app on your phones, the Bible app, our church built that and gives it away for free, and they give it away for free because we all donate to Digital Missions, and that's part of what we do as a family.
So we're getting them involved. They give a tithe. And then they also give a little bit.
Yes, so they tithe and then give a little bit more to those things. Then we give our food and commodities again, same as it was the first half. Then a lot of our utilities come out.
Yeah.
Water, electric. We've got 2 credit card payments that we're paying down. Those aren't quite on the debt fall yet because there's other things in front of that.
They are, but they're just lower.
Yeah, they're not.
We're paying our minimum payment because we're paying bigger chunks of other things.
They're not in the process of getting they're not being attacked yet. Right. They're in queue.
Yes, they're in queue.
They're in queue to be attacked.
So it's just the minimum payment right now.
Life insurance and all our other insurances, car and house and things like that. Yeah. Those are all auto drafted. Then our phone bill, we have T-Mobile, and we found that to be a pretty good price with a pretty good coverage, and man, we could talk hours about cell phones and the evils of and the
helpful
and the helpfuls of, and where's the line? Where do you draw the line on what what package you're going to have?
I'm sure Dave Ramsey would have something to say, but there's a lot that's just what's best for your family.
Yeah, and you've got to make that call for you. For us, because of my business and because of what I do, I have to have internet as well as texting, and I do so much communication on my phone every day, all the time. So it's just for us, that's what we have to do, and then she gets the benefit of being on that plan. We actually, as far as insurance goes, we also have something called prepaid legal. Some of you are familiar with that. It's an Oklahoma company, actually, believe it or not. And we just pay a little bit each month, $17 a month, to have free hours of legal protection.
I think it's called Legal Shield now, but
Legal Shield, yeah, that's true. It is called Legal Shield now. We're not actively members of that, but we're like, that's part of our insurance plan. So.
What do you mean we're not members?
No, like it's a sales thing.
Oh, we're not selling.
We're not selling it because there's a lot of people that actually do it as a business.
Well, yeah, that's true.
We're not in it as a business, but we just use it and have used it several times. It's been very helpful for me in what I do.
Do our will, by the way.
You always bring that up, don't you?
Yeah.
Kid commissions. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people call into Dave like, how much should we give our kids in commissions?
I've heard him say $10 per week one time.
$10 a week, yeah. I heard him say that, and I was like,
that's not happening.
We do $10 a month.
No,
for the both of them.
For the both of them.
And the babies get nothing.
Well, of course. And you know what? When we said we're going to give you a commission for the jobs that you do around, we're going to give you $5 a month, they were like, really? Like, yes.
That's exciting.
It's exciting. So start low.
Start low. Don't pin yourselves into something high off the bat.
Because you know, as humans, and especially children,
because they're going to want to raise,
they're going
to pick it, and they're going to get signs, and they're going to walk the sidewalk in front of the house until they get a raise.
Right.
Start out low.
Yeah. You may not be able to start out that low, but that's where we started.
We
and
did.
It's working for us. So.
Yes, it is. We have medical bills. We put that in the budget. We have an internet bill, which is part of my business as well. And you know, I really need to start thinking about separating that out into the business, but we use it as a family too. So it's kind of a, you know, it's one of those things. Where do you put it? Do you put it in the family budget? Do you put it in the business budget? I don't know. And for those of you that don't know, I have a side business that's web design. And I do a lot of that work here at the house, but I also work for a company that I go to the office, but I do a lot of homework with them as well. So
this video is probably getting long.
that's okay. It's good information. Okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Student loans. Her student loan, my student loan. That's also on the debt fall. We can explain the debt fall more later. But that's part of our debt fall. But they're not being attacked yet. They're more on the bottom of the list. And there's things on top of the list that are getting attacked. Second half of the restaurants for me on Wednesday nights. Hair care. Don't forget hair care. Everybody needs a haircut. Some more than others. I'm just saying. You know. So, gasoline. Gas for her van, gas for my truck. I guess I didn't mention that earlier.
That's good.
Yeah. So basically it takes almost $90 every pay period for my truck to get back and forth to work, and $60 for her van to get back and forth from...
I'm doing really good though.
You are doing good. I'm proud of you.
I'm not even close to the half yet.
That is awesome.
I know, I'm so proud.
Stay home more. Yay! And then we usually write in, I have a line in my budget for debt fall. So whatever is going to debt fall, I take that and I start it out in its own line, and then we decide, you know, if we've already paid something, if we're paying something off that month, then we'll slap it on the next thing. And so that way we always make sure when we're planning our budget, because what happens a lot of times, people will pay something off and they've got extra money and they're like, we'll just use this on something else. Don't do that.
Something else meaning something for fun.
Yeah. You didn't have that money to begin with, so when you pay something off, don't spend it on anything else. Keep that money in the debt fall so that the next thing gets paid off. Don't forget to do that. Don't be tempted.
Snowball is, yeah.
Don't be tempted to take it when you pay something off. Keep that monthly money now in your pocket. Keep it on your debts. Pay off your debts.
Pretend like it's not there. Yes.
Pretend like it's not there. It goes to the next thing. Okay. Movies. This is the thing that we did last month. Last month we reconciled our budget, which is hard to see on this because of my son's wonderful drawings. But there's a column for the budget items, which is all the stuff I have printed, and then there's a column for what you actually spent. And you need to write down so that you know through the month what you actually spent, because just because you have a budget doesn't mean that you're sticking to it.
Right.
Everybody's like, oh, we wrote a budget out. It was awesome. We did it on the 1st. We got it all written out. It was great. And then you just spend like you've always been spending.
Right.
And
Which
you
is
just
kind of
ruined
what we
it.
did at the very beginning before we cracked down.
Yes. So when we got done, we put all our actuals down. We added all the actuals up. And even with the extras, because what we have on extras, movie, Redbox movies, $1.31 a piece. And then there was one trip to the donut shop.
And I didn't even get them.
No, but the boys at work did, and they were happy. But even with the extra spends that we had, we came in under budget on some other things, and we came in $165 under budget for the month.
Yay!
So we were excited about that, which was good because that $165 then is going to a trip, which you're not supposed to take trips.
Yeah.
You're in your debt snowball. You're paying off your debt, but I'm going to perform a wedding in
where we used to live
in Indiana, where I grew up.
friends and family.
So the moral of this story is, if you don't want to take a trip and you want to pay off your debt, don't agree to perform a wedding 800 miles away.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm really looking forward to it, though.
So now, one last thing before we get off here. Somebody asked us this week about, I had mentioned earlier about the irregular income and the extras. Now, we, this month, put all our extras in our budget because we knew the money would be there. If you don't know you have enough money for the budget, put all your bills down. Everything you know is the thing you have to pay. Okay? And if you make less than what you need for your extras, put your extras on the back of your sheet. Write them down in priority list.
Right.
What's the most important thing? Like the second month, you said these kids need some shorts, and it was right before summer. We needed a couple of pair of shorts and some socks and some things like that. So we wrote that down. It was priority number 1. Then we had a priority number 2, which was their birthday parties. And then we had a priority number 3. And so what we did was, because we have extra income, and a lot of people have extra income from whatever resource that is that you have extra income, once that starts coming in, you know what you're making, so that's your budget.
Right.
That's solid. That's, you don't touch it, the money will come in, you know it's there, you pay it. But the extras, put them on the back, and then if extra money then comes in from something you sell or something you are, your extra work you do, or cutting grass or whatever it is you do, painting the garage, I don't care. Then once that money comes in, then you put it away, and then you mark off by priority. We've paid for priority number 1. I made $100 cutting grass over the weekend. I've paid for all the clothing and part of the birthday parties. And then,
that's a lot of clothes and birthday.
Yeah, well, I made $50 cutting grass, and then you just mark it off. And then priority number 3, if priority number 3 doesn't get met because you didn't make enough money, well, it was priority number 3, so it's not going to get paid for. It just falls off. Now, if it's important enough, you can put it back in next month's budget.
Right, and try it again.
And if you've got the other priorities out of the way.
If you know you're going to have extra money, though, put it in the budget. Like, it's okay to put extra line items in your budget.
Yes.
If you know the money is going to be there.
If you know you have the money, yes.
Right. This is
if you don't know you have the money.
If you don't know, but you're
Just like we have some friends who one is self-employed and the other was a teacher. And so they knew the teacher salary, that was a guaranteed income. Right? But the self-employed person, the other half of the team, had no clue what the income was, because it was, So what they had to do was they had to sit down, and we talked to them about budgeting and using that teacher salary to mark off all the things that are first, in their budget. You have to pay the house bill, you have to pay the food, the food, shelter, transportation, and clothing. Those are the 4 walls you got to have. Okay, so you just cover those first with the guaranteed income, and then everything else gets met by priority from the self-employed person.
Right.
Okay? So, any questions?
I didn't hear any.
I didn't either. Put them in the comments below, and we will be glad to cover them on the next video. Hopefully that helped a little bit, and hopefully it stirred up some questions, because if you have them, please put them in there, and we will be glad to walk through them. And you may have some suggestions that will help us, especially that food thing. Help us with that food thing, okay? We will see you next time.
Bye.